Hi, I'm Robert Perkins, the immigration professor, and welcome to my video about the policies of Donald Trump and what people who are undocumented can do to remain in the United States. We have a series of informational videos. They're all on our website, which is www.immigrationprofessor.com, and also on my YouTube channel. If you have specific questions about a case, you can call us at 888-439-4560. And again, this video, I'm going to go over sort of some of the changes the Trump administration has made for just a little bit. But also what I want to emphasize for the people out there is sort of that there is relief still available. It's harder than it was, that's for sure. But I want to give people at least some ray of hope that there is something that they can do, which I believe that there is. So President Trump, as everybody knows, ran for office, and one of the main things about his election was that he basically wanted to deport undocumented immigrants. So far he is keeping his promise. Deportations are way up from what they were before, and specifically deportations of people that haven't committed any crimes. People who just came here illegally are up by over 100% over the last year of the Obama administration. He is keeping his promise in terms of deporting people. The other thing I think that's important, I have a report in my hand. It's from the American Immigration Lawyers Association, and it just came out on March 21st of 2018. It's called Cogs and the Deportation Machine. And the report talks about some other things that Trump has done to basically try to gear up and deport more people. So I'm going to take a look at this report as I'm talking to everybody and just kind of go over some of those things. First of all, Trump has eliminated Dokka, or deferred action. So eliminated Dokka. As we're talking, Dokka was supposed to expire in March of 2018. However, for people that are renewing Dokka, there is still renewals available due to a court injunction. We don't really know, as we speak right now, what the future of Dokka is going to be. So we'll see what happens with that. So that's one way that Trump has sort of, going towards making more people subject to deportation. A second way that's outlined in this report is that Trump has eliminated also something called TPS, or Temporary Protected Status. Temporary Protected Status has been used by presidents for decades. It applies to people from different countries that have experienced hardship, either a civil war or some kind of natural disaster like an earthquake. And we give them temporary shelter in the United States. Sometimes a lot of people with TPS, those kind of sort of temporary protections, they last for a while, and eventually they might become a permanent resident. So one of the things that Trump has done is to eliminate TPS for El Salvador, Haiti, Nicaragua, and Sudan. These are all set to expire in late 2018 and 2019. So there will be more people sort of subject to deportation, even people that have been here for 15 years and may have U.S. citizen kids and so forth and so on. So the next thing that's mentioned in this report is that, basically under the Obama administration, there was a policy called prosecutorial discretion. What that means is that in criminal cases, for example, the state's attorney has the discretion not to enforce people who have been caught for jaywalking or a minor crime and things like that, and to take into account the full totality of their circumstances. Immigration cases, that has been the case as well, especially under President Obama, when someone has been here for a number of years, had a sick relative or something else that they were caring for, there was discretion not to deport that person. But that's been eliminated under Trump, even for people with no criminal history. So that's really important. The next, so I'm going to put here sort of elimination of prosecutorial discretion, or what we call PD, for people. Next, there's something the report calls aggressive enforcement tactics. What they mean by this is it used to be that immigration wouldn't arrest people in churches or courthouses or places like that, and they were very sensitive to the community, but that has gone out the window. So the other thing besides eliminating different types of relief, and this is just a small list, is that they are now expanding enforcement in different areas. And in addition to what I mentioned about the courthouses, they are also conducting what we call raids of different employers and such like that, searching for, people that are undocumented. So in this way, the Trump administration is creating what the American Immigration Lawyers Association calls sort of a deportation machine. In the machine, we eliminate people's status, we increase the enforcement. And the last way is to pressure the immigration judges. So what they're doing is that they are issuing guidelines to judges to decide cases fast. So the judges are under a lot of pressure to make decisions. They're going to make decisions very fast. And it's very hard to understand cases sometimes. Immigration cases can be complicated, so there's going to be a little more pressure on judges to deny cases when they can't really understand the complexities, I think. So, again, what American Immigration Lawyers Association says, or AILA, is that, the administration is kind of tightening things to deport more people as soon as possible. Even people that have been in the United States for 10, 20, 30, 40 years and have no criminal convictions, and U.S. citizen relatives. So that is basically what is happening at this point. How far it's going to get, we don't know. I'm going to take a pause again to let people know that I'm going to talk a little bit about what people can do about these policies and the fact that there is relief available by law. But before we get there, I want to remind people that all of our informational videos are available on our website, www.immigrationprofessor.com. Also, people can call us about their specific case at 888-439-4560. So let's get at least to the sort of light at the end of the tunnel, which is that, as some people know, for a lot of years, our Congress has been gridlocked and we haven't really passed any new legislation. The good news, sort of the little light at the end of the tunnel here, is that we have old legislation that provides people with defenses or relief from deportation. So what I'm going to do in this video is just go over some of the more common forms of relief, but there's a lot of other types of relief that may be available to people. And you need to consult with an immigration lawyer to figure out if you personally might be eligible for this kind of relief. So I made a couple notes of things that I thought would be helpful. One form of relief that's still available is asylum. If you feel you would be persecuted in your home country on account of race, religion, gender, political opinion, and so forth, you can ask for asylum as a defense to being deported. There's also other forms of sort of relief or ability to stay called withholding of removal and relief under the Conventions Against Torture. And so, again, these allow people to stay here if they feel that they would be subject to some kind of persecution in their home country. So that's one form of relief that's available in immigration court. Again, people need to consult with a lawyer to see, do I have a good case for this kind of relief? And can I stay? The next kind of relief that's still available under law is called cancellation of removal. It's for people that have been here for 10 years continuously and they have good moral character, which generally means they haven't been convicted of any serious crime, and they can show extreme and unusual hardship to their U.S. citizen, spouse, parent, or child. So people with young kids or kids with special needs, things like that, might be eligible for cancellation of removal. It is a difficult defense to prove, the extreme hardship, and there's only 4,000 grants available per year. But it is a defense that people can use and get granted sometimes. So that's another sort of light at the end of the tunnel for people. The other thing that people can do is, we still have our regular types of petitions that can be filed in deportation proceedings, such as a family petition, if you can have a close family member sponsor you for immigration status, and you might be able to do that in deportation proceedings. Or employment, you can have somebody sponsor you for employment. Again, it's case by case. But that might also be available to people. And the last kind of form of relief is humanitarian relief that I'm going to talk about. There's also something called stays of removal for people that have very humane circumstances that can be filed with Immigration and Customs Enforcement. And there's many other types of relief that is available in immigration court. Again, I would encourage anybody to consult with an immigration attorney and figure out what they personally are eligible for. So to sort of conclude the whole thing, we are seeing a big increase in enforcement. Enforcement is to people that are undocumented, even those that haven't committed a crime. But there's still many different types of relief, including the few that I've mentioned. In addition to this video, I would encourage people to take a look at my series of videos called De-Stressing the Deportation Process. It goes over some of these areas of relief in more detail. Again, thank you for watching the video. You can see all of our informational videos on my website, which is www.immigrationprofessor.com. And if you have a specific question about your case, give our offices a call. We represent people all across the United States. 888-439-4560. Thank you so much.